So I am very honored to be joined today on Tweet of the Week by a state award winner, Casey Kaiser, who is a teacher at Butterfly Ridge Elementary School. But more than just a teacher, Casey is one of our Vanguard graduates and has been serving as a virtual learning mentor, which has been a huge support and help to teachers across the county as we've headed into the virtual model. But Casey was nominated by the President, Cheryl Bost, of the Maryland State Educators Association for this Teaching of Excellence Award, and she became Maryland's winner. So Casey, we are so proud of you and so delighted, because when you get recognized, it tells the world that FCPS knows how to hire the best and the brightest to serve our children. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm honored to be in Frederick County Public Schools. I went here when I was younger, so it was the only place I was going to be, for sure.
So tell us a little bit about the types of things they asked you in applying for this award.
Absolutely. So they did a lot of talk about advocating for your students, your colleagues, your profession, wanting to make the profession better for all students. That the word all was very important in the award. Celebrating the diversity of my students was very important in making all students feel accepted. That they belong in my classroom, because that is where they were meant to be from the second they were picked to be in my classroom. So lots of talk about how I do those things, especially through virtual learning, which has been a part of this whole application process, because I found out in March, April that I was nominated for the state of Maryland, and that's right when all of this began. So it has definitely played a role. And how do you do that? How do you make sure the social, emotional well-being of our students is good while we're so far apart from each other?
Absolutely. And so a lot of times people don't realize when you're nominated for an award like this, the application process is pretty extensive and requires a lot of work on your part. And so now that you are the Maryland winner, there will be a national winner, and you'll find out in a few months whether or not you were a finalist. We would automatically move you right to national, but we recognize that there are outstanding educators across the country. But again, we will continue to celebrate you. We'll keep our fingers crossed for you moving forward. But truly, again, something that, because I've worked with you so often, been in your classroom when we could be in classrooms, seen you through the Vanguard program, I know how well deserved this award is, and we couldn't be happier for you. But I'm going to take advantage of the fact that you have also shared with me that at Butterfly Ridge this year, you have a student teaching intern, coming to you from our Maryland Accelerates program at Frostburg State. And so do you want to talk a little bit about what's making her experience even more valuable?
Yeah, absolutely. First, she's incredible, and I was extremely lucky to be asked by Dr. Hosfeld to have her in my classroom. And it's different than I've had student interns probably my entire career. And this is different because she's with me the entire school year. And being such a different school year, it was so important. She hit the ground running by sitting with me virtually through the computer during the 6 weeks of the CARES program summer school. And she has been there every step of the way. Anytime that she said that there's a break, she's there anyways. Yesterday on our day off, she wanted to plan. She is doing her first morning meeting this morning with me being here, so that's really nice. But she has been incredible. She's taking her entire master's program this school year alongside of her student teaching, and she really has been able to look at assessment with me and be there from the very beginning. It's very different when an intern comes 2 months after school starts and they didn't get to see that setup process. Because even though we weren't in the classroom setting up, we were setting up. We were meeting with parents. Her and I did one-on-one parent conferences the first week of school just to be able to meet them and find out what kind of space they had, help them, navigate them, and how this is all going to work. And And then we changed it 3 days later because none of us know how all of this was going to work. So she has been there every step of the way. And I think when we go back into the classroom, however we do transition, she will be super equipped to come along with us and finish out the school year. And I'm excited that we'll have her here in FCPS next year for sure.
Right, because we do interview these candidates, and then they spend this year-long internship with us, and then we employ them. So it is a wonderful opportunity for us as well. But Casey, in that response, you just demonstrated not only the power you have as a teacher, but you're spreading that influence and that quality teaching to those that you mentor, this student teaching intern. But also, I just cannot imagine how relieved teachers are after speaking with you in now going forward and taking a risk and trying new things in this virtual model and being willing to say, this isn't working, so let's revamp and go here, because that's what outstanding teachers do, and you obviously are one, and we are so very, very grateful that you are part of the FCPS family, and we congratulate you, and we will be again following how this goes and hoping for the best for you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
It is always a joy when we can celebrate with staff who have been recognized for their excellence, because as you know, that's part of our strategic goal as a school system, to employ champions of excellence, and you've met one today. Thank you so much for joining us on Tweet of the Week.